What's going on, everybody? Coming at you from the Too Many Records record store, just days away from our 2-year anniversary, which feels insane to say. I feel like I just made a video saying I'm opening a record store, and now we're 2 years in, which is wild. And this ride has been unbelievable. I have to apologize for my voice in this video. It's still recovering from Ghibli Block Party, which was amazing. Still recovering from screaming out at all of the Death Cab, Postal Service, Vampire Weekend, LCD Sound System, etc., songs that I love. It was a great festival, had a really good time. But now it's time to talk about the next exciting thing, which is the 2-year anniversary. So with the 1 year, what we did was we took all of the rare records on the wall, which is about 75 spots, and we swapped them all out with stuff that we've never had out in the shop before. We're doing that again for the 2-year. We actually did a refresh halfway through the 1 year. We might do that again. We'll see how it goes. But it's going to be such a special day. It's Sunday, May 19th. If you're watching this and you're in the area or want to travel to it, I promise you it'll be worth it. We're putting out some pretty crazy stuff, not just grails. We're also filling the bins with a bunch of really great stuff we got at the Austin Record Show and a few other collections that have just come in recently. So it's worth coming by. Also going to be DJs to start the day. We got DJ Wags and Chaz Van Queen. And then we're going to have Hiroki and Portland Standard Time playing musical sets on our parking lot outside. It's just going to be a really good day. To celebrate the fact that we have made it 2 years, I haven't really taken the time to sit and really think about it beyond obviously preparing for this event. And this video, as I'm talking, is kind of me having a moment of realizing that I'm doing this thing that I've always wanted to do, and I'm doing it well, and well enough to at least continue operating as a brick and mortar shop here in Portland, Oregon. So it's exciting. It's really exciting. And I have so many amazing friends that have helped me along the way in different capacities, different ways. Huge shout out to Goose. He's my store manager. He's my right-hand man. He's one of my best friends. And this store could not have reached this point without him. Another huge shout out to Austin. He's my part-timer. He started earlier this year. He started as a Too Many Records fan and a regular at the shop. And then one day I was just like, you should work here. And he was like, all right. So the three of us have been tackling the endless backlog and trying to acquire the coolest records around. We've done a pretty good job so far. And I'm here in this video to show you not necessarily all of the rarest or most desirable records that we're putting out on the 2-year, just my favorites. I have a box full of stuff. I'm going to show you all right now. I'm super, super stoked. I think people's brains are going to explode when they see some of the things that we have ready to go for the 2-year. So let me go through this box, show you what I got. I'd love for you to leave a comment with your favorite thing that I show in this video. There's going to be a lot, so it's going to be hard to choose from. My name is Matt. I run Too Many Records in Portland, Oregon. What predates this store, though, is a YouTube channel, the one that you're actively watching. I have about 500 videos, maybe more, since 2015. So if you're into vinyl and you want recommendations or tips or anything like that, there's a lot to go through. So if you want to subscribe to the channel and turn the notification bell on, that would mean a lot. All right, let's get started. Metallica fans are going to be rejoicing. If you're a fan of Metallica, the stuff that we have is insane. And all of these discs are VG++ or near mint. 1988 US press of Kill 'Em All. 1984 US press of Ride the Lightning. 1986 US press of Master of Puppets. First press club edition of And Justice for All in the shrink. And this one is actually one of the top 5 craziest records we've had at the shop. First press of Metallica's Black Album, self-titled record, near mint. I was flabbergasted when I saw how much these go for, if they even exist in this condition. Most of them are not near mint. The jacket's amazing. The discs are shiny and flawless. One just sold for quadruple digits on Discogs. It's not quadruple digits, but it's a lot. And then how about a signed copy of Hardwired to Self-Destruct, a later record in their career, but signed by the band. There's gonna be a lot of Obi strip records in this box, and I didn't put them all in order, so we'll see what we got. One of my personal favorite records, Pink Floyd's Animals. I think it's Pink Floyd's best record. You may disagree, but if you're a fan of Pink Floyd, you must agree that this is an amazing album. One of my favorite things from this box for sure is the Japanese pressing of Randy Rhoads Tribute, the Ozzy Osbourne record tributing the late great Randy Rhoads. In my opinion, his best guitarist he ever worked with. His life was cut way too short, way too soon, but we have a lot of great music of his to appreciate. Stepping away from the Ozzy side, we also have this Black Sabbath Heaven and Hell Japanese press. My favorite of the Dio Sabbath records. So good. Another crazy one. This is Another Perfect Day by Motorhead. Japanese press with the Obi. I think we had one of these at the 1 year. Gotta have another one for the 2-year. Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair, Japanese press. One of my favorite records from the 80s. Gotta be top 5. I love whenever we get a King Crimson record in because everyone loves this record. In the Court of the Crimson King, Japanese press with the Obi strip, that face. This is a cool one. Japanese pressing of Nevermind the Bollocks. Here's the Sex Pistols. I don't think I've ever seen a Japanese press of this at a store, period. How about a late 90s UK Radiohead The Bends? Parlophone label, which is what you're going to want to look for when you get a Radiohead record. They sound significantly better than the Capitol US reissues. It's a fact. I promise you, if you A-B them, you will be shocked at how much better these are. This record sounds amazing. I had to write there's a tick on the leading groove because right before the music starts, there's like a kind of a tick that happens and then the music kicks in. It's kind of annoying, but I like to make sure I leave little notes like that on records whenever possible because I think transparency is key to get people to A, know what they're buying, and B, want to come back and get more. This is a weird one. This is Power of Source, the Apollo Stars. This was produced by L. Ron Hubbard, the Scientology leader. Yes, this is a very weird relic of music history. It is not easy to find. It's still in the shrink. Plays really nicely. Side A is some really interesting kind of jazzy, fusion-y stuff. And then side B is like nonsense free jazz. To me, I can't get into free jazz. This is particularly difficult. But an interesting musical relic, like I said. Another crazy one is a sealed promo original US press of Kate Bush, Hounds of Love. We had this for the 1 year. Got to get another for the 2 year. The legendary Tracy Chapman. This is her incredible self-titled record. This is a first press in the shrink with the hype sticker. One of my favorite Brazilian albums. This is Luis Bonfa's Jacaranda. This album is so much energy, so fun, so beautiful, and definitely one I would recommend if someone wanted to get into Brazilian music. This would be in my top 10, if not top 5 recs. First press of Rage Against the Machine, Battle for Los Angeles. Some Nirvana ones coming at you. This is Nirvana's Nevermind. I'm sure you've heard of this record. 2010 Palace pressing. It's the most audiophile pressing that exists, supposedly. Some argue that the first US sounds better. Some argue that the MoFi sounds better. If you want to save a little money, this of the three is definitely going to cost you the least, and I've heard this pressing. It sounds amazing. And then another audiophile pressing of MTV Unplugged by Nirvana. This is the 2009 ORG pressing, but the best sounding version I've heard of this. My favorite record of a few years ago, this is Phoebe Bridgers' Punisher, just indie singer-songwriter stuff at its absolute finest and most emotional. This is the sealed copy of the Peacock Splash. I can't imagine this one lasting more than 5 minutes. You know, most Billy Joel records that come in the shop are worth $5, $10, $15 at most. This is an exception. This is Billy Joel's River of Dreams. This is the first European press. First one we've ever had in. If you know, you know on this one. This is Deep Forest. This is the European press of this. Extremely hard record to find. It is a little ambient, a little tribal, a little down-tempo. Lots of amazing samples that could not get cleared, which is why this has not had a repress since it came out. I don't foresee a repress in the future of this individual record, especially with the samples intact. So if you like kind of like experimental, pretty ambient tribal music, give this one a listen before Sunday because you never see this pop up. Weezer's Blue Album, European 2002 pressing. If you go on Discogs, people say that this is the best sounding record. Yes, even better than the MoFi, apparently, which is actually sitting right there on our wall right now. How about a 1994 US press of Pearl Jam's 10, arguably the greatest grunge record ever recorded. This is generally VG+. There's a couple little pops here and there. It's not crazy. Maybe some very light surface noise at times. Overall, sounds way better than it looks. Play tested the whole record. Twist my arm. It was a joy to listen to, as always. How about an 87 European press of Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction with the band cover? This one I'm just stoked to have. It's not something I'm super familiar with, but anyone that's a fan of The Fall knows that this is an extremely hard record to find. This is Fall in a Hole, and it's an 88 US pressing. There are bootlegs of this that exist, but this is an actual de facto original. Do I have any idea how to pronounce this record? I sure don't. This is Alice Coltrane's Ptah? I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is a very coveted jazz record. This is a 1970s press. I'd say VG all around. A solid copy for sure, and one you just really don't see. It can't be a 2 year of too many records without a little bit of pop punk and emo. We got Yellow Card's Ocean Avenue, their best record in my opinion. And this is the yellow numbered version, which is cool. Another cool one, this is the 1998 8-panel gatefold giant jacket of Beastie Boys' Paul's Boutique. A first press of Frank Ocean's Blonde. Now, the second press obviously exists, it's still available on his site. That doesn't mean that people don't want the original. And this has dropped in value since that second press, for sure, but it still commands a pretty high price, pretty high desirability because it is the OG and it has the original cover art. Makami, this is a man that puts out records that no one's ever heard, and he charges $300 for them, and people will still buy them without even thinking. He is a mastermind when it comes to the business side of things. Some may think he's insane, but he's making a lot of money, so I don't know. He's doing something right. And that being said, he's also an incredible rapper. All of his projects are amazing. This is tied with HBO for probably my favorite of his releases. This was a dope release. This is sealed, numbered on the back with the sticker. My friend Mario described him as an evil Mos Def, which I think is really funny. Everyone knows about the RL Zeppelin 2. This is not that, but apparently there is an audiophile version of Physical Graffiti. I didn't know about it. It's the Sam Feldman copy, and this is a VG Plus 1987 press. Pretty cool if you're a Zeppelin fan. How about an 84 US press of Nick Drake 5 Leaves Left? I wish we got more Nick Drake records in. We just don't. They just aren't around. Maybe like modern represses, sure, but early stuff like this, you just don't see. This is a record that Noble Records just referenced in one of his videos, and I was like, hey, we have one of those for the 2-year. 1971 German press of Duffy. Really cool kind of hard rock, psych rock stuff. Very, very hard record to find. So if you're into hard and psych rock stuff, make sure you don't sleep on this. This is really out of order based on what's next, but this is Nightmare of You, one of my favorite underrated emo records from the 2000s. This record is very out of print. It's on splatter vinyl, and it is awesome. And then we have a 78 US press of Townes Van Zandt Delta Mama Blues with near mint playback. Also, like Nick Drake, we don't get a lot of Townes in, but when we do, it's awesome. 2 records by one of my favorite indie rock bands, Mute Math. We have the self-titled and Odd Soul. Both of them are very out of print and hard to find, and both of them are masterpieces front to back. Some of my favorite stuff from the 2000s indie scene. I was unfamiliar with this record until I heard it to play test it. Plays VG Plus. This is the first UK of Judy Sill's Heart Food. I thought this record was absolutely beautiful. The harmonies, just the melodies, everything about it was stunning. And it is not an easy one to come by. So very, very happy to be able to put this on the wall on Sunday. Another very hard to find jazz record. This is Donald Byrd's Coffee, or Kofi, I don't know how you pronounce it. But this is an archival release that came out in the 90s for the first time, but it's back from the late 60s. And really, really good jazz. I mean, Donald Byrd is becoming one of my favorite jazz musicians for sure as I'm getting more and more into jazz. And this record is not one that you can come by very often. Speaking more about pressings that are the most desirable of certain records, we have the Hollywood press of David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust. This is apparently the most audiophile version, and this is the cleanest copy by far we've ever had of this record. It is just absolutely stunningly near mint, and if you're a Bowie fan, you owe it to yourself to grab this. A couple more bangers coming your way. Very hard to find this Mondo compilation of Studio Ghibli tracks. There were 3 different covers. This one is Spirited Away, which is my favorite Studio Ghibli film. And it's actually signed by the visual artist who did this art named Tyler Stout. He's one of my favorite poster artists. He's absolutely legendary in the poster community. And I got it signed from him in person. So I'm gonna put this one up. I was hesitant to sell this. I thought it was cool to offer for the 2-year. If it doesn't sell, I'll probably just keep it. And how about the Analog Productions audiophile version of Norah Jones' Come Away With Me, which is one of my favorite vocal jazz records ever. You might remember when I got my Clearaudio concept turntable all set up. There was a video about it. It was super cool. They used this record to test the system. They use it for most of their testing because it's such a amazing recording. You got to get this record if you don't have it, this version. A couple more Obies coming your way. This is an awesome Japanese press of Zeppelin 3. I think last year we had Zeppelin 2 for the 1 year. And then we had this white album with the Obi strip and all the inserts, super cool. And we're gonna end with some Funkadelic, a band that I have gotten so into over the past couple years. First off, we are going to have America Eats Its Young, 1976 US press. Discs play VG Plus. I will say the jacket has a little bit of wear, but amazing record. Same thing with this one. Jacket has a bit of wear. Disc plays VG Plus even. This is Funkadelic standing on the verge of getting it on, a top 3 record of theirs, next to these other 2 I'm about to show. Coming out at number 2 is Funkadelic's self-titled. This is a 1970 German press. Sounds phenomenal. And of course, a 1975 US press of Maggot Brain, which is for many one of the greatest records of all time. Definitely a lot of people's favorite from Funkadelic. My favorite, just an excellent record, and we're gonna have it on the 2-year. Now, this is just a small amount of what we're gonna be offering. We're gonna be filling the bins, like I said, and also putting out even more stuff on the walls. Probably doing a refresh of some kind halfway through the day. We'll see how it goes. But we are busting our butts to get everything priced and finished out for Sunday. If you're in the area, we'd love to see your face. Thank you so much for everyone who supported the store leading up to this, online, in person, it doesn't matter. you guys are helping me achieve a dream and continue to live it. It's the best job I've ever had. You know, every day I'm excited to come to work and see what the day brings, whether it's finding a really rare record hiding in the back, or meeting somebody really cool and talking music, or someone walking in with a crazy collection, or just going to hang out with some of my good friends at the record store, and it's my job. So thank you to everyone who supports this, and hopefully it's mutual. Hopefully you found some really great records, whether I've sent them to you digitally or you found them in the shop. And who knows what's in store for year 3, but my fingers are crossed in that there's a Japan trip somewhere in there. So stay tuned for that. There'll be more videos coming when I have time, but I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Look forward to talking to you all in the comments below. Take it easy.